Solicitations and welcome to a blast from the past. Here is what is more colloquially known as a Snowman steam boiler. So this started out life probably prior to World War I or the Great War, definitely coal-fired, and then was later converted to oil and then was later abandoned completely. Didn't even try to get this thing to go natural gas, which is, well, there it is. So what it is, there's your clean out there. There's the interior. Looks like a bit of trash there. And there are the flue passages. And there's the main flue passage at the top. It's a National Radiator Company out of Johnstown, PA. It looks like a P1019 Acme. I think that's a serial number there. And this is a damper door. And another for more clean outs. Only the penitent man will pass. There is the firebox now. Now this originally contained the big pile of burning rocks, which would be added here. And then there would be a grate, and that says clinkers. And then this was the ash pit down at the bottom here. And the clinker's been covered up when they converted this to oil. We'll get to the oil burner later, maybe. So this, of course, is covered with the fiber that dare not speak its name. You had one outlet, looks like a 3-inch outlet. Looks like it was done in 1961, if that date is correct. This was the original pressure controller. It was a bellows, and it had a lever which passed through here, and that usually had a weight on one side, and then probably something up here with carried the chain to this what they call a check damper. So what would happen would be you could probably set this at a certain ratio, and if the pressure got too high, what they would do is this would then be opened up. The chimney, which was ferocious, would allow air to pass through and not be drawn through the pile of burning rocks, and so it would reduce the flame and the output. That grate there. This was the water feed, unceremoniously cut. You just add water directly. There was your drain, and there was no suggestion of a Harford loop whatsoever. The return was fed directly to the bottom of the boiler. It might have been in here. I think that might be it there. This would be what they call a plug safety, in that it was a low temperature melting alloy. So if that got really hot, above say 400 degrees, that would melt, and any leftover steam would then be blown into the chamber here to try at least dampen the coal fire. There's your water column, consisting of your typical sight glass fittings. Not much change there. These are 3/8 rather than 1/2 inch as they are usually today. And these were what is called tri-cocks, so that you never quite trusted the sight glass. You would open this and you would get water, And if you open this, you got steam, you knew your water level was between here and here and you were safe. If you just got steam out of here, then you had problems. So later on, of course they had a pressure gauge, but later on this is the Minneapolis Honeywell pressure controller with the lovely mercury. This was a model P404A1, and they were surprisingly accurate. You know, as your differential and your pressure settings there with the screws on top, much like they do today with the higher end pressure controls. And this thing looks like that's not fitting on there too well. There we go. Here's your safety relief valve. And there's another return on the wet side from the front of the building. So this is the oil burner that they put in. This in itself is a bit of history. Webster, I think they're still around. You can get a rating plate on that. Not sure. Fuel unit on this side. The tank's still outside the building, hidden away in a storage area under the porch. And I think that about covers it. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like that's nickel plated or brass. Let me just see. Is that brass? No, it's steel. Okay. That's brass. So there you have it, a bit of Americana, no longer functioning. Oh, that's right. So this is the safety back in the day. There was a sensor in the flue passage, and it would impinge on this thing. And then there's your lockout switch if it timed out, if this didn't. You had your K1 and K2 safety relays and so forth. This thing had a ridiculously long trough for ignition. These things should have been banned a long time ago. That's there. Now I don't have a National Radiator book handy, but I do have the Ideal Fitter, the American Radiator Company, and this is from 1925. There's the main building. I think Dan Holohan has written about this particular building. It still exists. It's on the Central Park West, I believe, and this is to represent the coal, and that's to represent the flames. And there is the Arco version, very similar to what I've just shown you. And there is a lovely picture of boiler erotica inside there, cutting away, showing the deep fuel bed and the flue passages and so forth. You saw the various sections, taking these things apart maybe 30 years ago. And boy, they were heavy then, and they haven't gotten any lighter. There's the grates. They would have been about here. There would have been a handle here that you would shake the grates to rotate them back and forth to allow the ash to drop into the ash pit there. Very similar construction. So I hope that was interesting. And if you have any questions, or you have your stories that you would like to share with all of us about these beauties, please put the comments below, and hope to see you on the next one. Be well, stay safe, and happy steaming.